What if I told you that the iPhone 18 Pro could completely change how we think about smartphone batteries and cameras? Today we are diving into some major breaking news about the iPhone 18 Pro and iPhone 18 Pro Max. We are got fresh reports coming in that reveal 6 incredible features that are looking more and more confirmed for these upcoming devices. And honestly, some of these updates are going to blow your mind. From battery improvements that could finally put Apple ahead of Samsung to camera technology that brings DSLR-level features to your pocket. We're even talking about satellite connectivity that could work anywhere on Earth. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's break down everything we know about the iPhone 18 Pro series. Trust me, by the end of this video, you are going to understand why 2026 might be the year Apple takes back the crown. Let's jump straight into the first major update, and this one is all about battery life. Now, we all remember how excited everyone got when the iPhone 17 Pro Max finally crossed that 5,000 mAh mark. Especially for those of you in the US with the eSIM models, that was a huge win. But here's where it gets interesting. Apple is not stopping there. The latest reports suggest that the iPhone 18 Pro Max could push beyond 5,100 mAh. Now I know that might not sound like a massive jump, but every bit counts when we're talking about all-day battery life. Here is the thing though, to make this happen, Apple is apparently making the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max slightly thicker. We are talking about roughly 0.5 millimeter of extra thickness. Most people won't even notice this difference when holding the phone, but that tiny bit of extra space gives Apple room to pack in a larger battery. And why is this such a big deal right now? Well, Samsung S25 Ultra is sitting at around 5,000 mAh. Even the rumored S26 Ultra is expected to stick around that same capacity. This means the iPhone 18 Pro Max could actually have a larger battery than Samsung's flagship. That is something we have not seen in years. When you combine this with the already excellent battery performance of the iPhone 17 Pro Max, we are looking at potentially industry-leading battery life. But the battery size is only part of the story. The second major update ties directly into making that battery last even longer. Apple is reportedly working on next-generation efficiency chips for the iPhone 18 Pro series. We are talking about the new N2 networking chip and the C2 communication chip. These are not just minor updates. They are completely custom chips designed by Apple specifically for better power management. The N2 chip handles all your network connections more efficiently. Whether you are streaming Netflix, downloading apps, or just browsing social media, this chip uses less power to maintain those connections. The C2 chip focuses on cellular and Wi-Fi connectivity. Think about how much battery your phone uses just staying connected to cell towers and Wi-Fi networks throughout the day. These new chips could significantly reduce that background power drain. What does this mean for real-world use? Your phone could last longer when streaming videos, stay connected longer in standby mode, and use less battery for basic connectivity tasks. Combined with that larger battery, we could be looking at phones that easily last a full day of heavy use. Now, the third update is where things get really exciting. That new C2 chip is not just about efficiency, it's also enabling a completely new feature. The iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max are expected to support 5G connectivity through satellites. Let me repeat that 5G through satellites. Right now, iPhones can send emergency SOS messages via satellite when you are out of cellular range. That feature has already saved lives in remote areas, but this new capability would take things to a whole different level. Imagine being able to get actual internet connectivity anywhere on Earth. Middle of the desert, no problem. Deep in a forest with no cell towers, you are still connected. On a boat in the middle of the ocean, your iPhone could still work. This isn't just about emergency situations either. This could be huge for people who work in remote locations, travel to areas with poor cell coverage, or just want the peace of mind of always being connected. The technology for this already exists. Companies like Starlink have shown that satellite internet can work. Apple is just figuring out how to pack that capability into a smartphone. All of these features, the bigger battery, the efficiency improvements, and the satellite connectivity, are going to be powered by Apple's next flagship processor. The fourth major update is the A20 Pro chipset. Now, this chip will probably be built on a similar architecture to the current A19 Pro, but Apple has a track record of making significant improvements even within the same manufacturing process. We're expecting better performance across the board. Apps will open faster, games will run smoother, and multitasking will be more responsive. But more importantly for daily use, the A20 Pro should be even more power efficient. Every task your phone does, from taking photos to playing music, should use slightly less battery. When you add this up across thousands of small tasks throughout the day, it makes a real difference in battery life. The A20 Pro will also need to handle all that new satellite connectivity without killing your battery. That's no small task, and it shows how much Apple is focusing on efficiency with this chip. Moving on to the fifth update, and this one might disappoint some people while exciting others. The dynamic island is staying exactly where it is. There were rumors floating around that Apple might move the front camera to the side of the screen. Some people were hoping for a completely clean display with no interruptions, but according to the latest reports, the dynamic island will remain centered at the top of the screen. However, Apple isn't leaving it completely unchanged. The dynamic island is expected to get smaller on the iPhone 18 Pro series. How are they managing this? Apple has apparently figured out how to move some of the Face ID sensors underneath the display. This is the same technology that other companies have been working on for fingerprint sensors, but Apple is applying it to facial recognition components. With fewer components needed in the pill-shaped cutout, the dynamic island can shrink. It will still be there, and it will still expand when you are using it for things like music controls or timer notifications. But when it is just sitting there during normal use, it should be less noticeable. This is especially good news for people who watch a lot of videos on their phones. A smaller dynamic island means less interference with your content. Finally, let's talk about the sixth and possibly most exciting update, the camera system. Apple is reportedly making a major change to the main camera on the iPhone 18 Pro series. Instead of using Sony sensors like they have for years, Apple is switching to Samsung for the main camera. But the really interesting part is not who's making the sensor. It is what features that sensor will have. The iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max are expected to get variable aperture technology. If you have ever used a traditional camera, or DSLR, you know what this means. But for everyone else, let me explain. Aperture controls how much light gets into the camera sensor. On current iPhones, this is fixed. It does not change. With variable aperture, the camera can physically adjust how much light it lets in. Which of these features are you most excited about? Are you on team bigger battery, or are you more interested in that variable aperture camera? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your thoughts. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Apple news and rumors, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That way, you will never miss an update about the iPhone 18 series or any other Apple products. And if this video helped you understand what is coming in 2026, please give it a like. Thanks for watching everyone, and I will see you in the next video.